I found a jewelry bag in the wild at an estate sale. I actually found 3 jewelry bags, which total a little over 10 pounds, I think it was. And it was the last day of the estate sale. These were 50% off. This one was $125 and the other 2s were $75. Half off would have made it around $135, and I paid $125 for all 3. So I thought we'd start out with the expensive one because David, who has owned and run the estate sale for his business forever, he's actually getting to the point where his kids are taking over because he wants to retire. I don't think he'll ever totally retire because that's just not him. But he is definitely slowing down, he and his wife. And so he always makes sure that there is something of some kind of value in here that if you were to resell, you would at least make your money back, if not more. So, with that being said, I'm just going to dig into this, and I think this is a butterscotch. I think this is a butterscotch Bakelite brooch. It is quite old. It has that heavy kind of feeling to it. Now, I do not have Simichrome because I'm not going to spend $12 on a thing of cream for one item that I almost rarely get. But everything about this, the color, the weight, the feel, the age of it, I'm thinking this is a butterscotch piece. So we're gonna have to take my word for it, unless one of my friends my YouTubers sends me a sample in the mail. So we're gonna say that's Bakelite. Which, if it is Bakelite, that would explain the cost of the bag. Oh my goodness. Where is it? It's an itty bitty kitty. It used to be an earring. Aww. Okay. Back to the program. Okay, so let's start with this. We have some acorn. Yes, some acorn costume jewelry with a brass hook on it. We have one of these sharp dongles, which I know that on Texas Gal Treasure, they have a dongle. Somebody's found some of the makers according to the dongle, so I might check that out, see if I can find it. But it's a nice necklace. These should be all in pretty decent pieces. If it's truly scrap, I think they just don't even bother with it. He usually only deals in better quality estates. And this is just a regular chain. It's a small chain. Now, I do know from the clothing of this woman, she was tiny. So this, there we go, has something on it. Do I have it upside down? (1/20) 14 karat gold filled There is not a maker. This is a locket that has not been engraved. And I know David, he usually takes the pictures out. Oh, no, he didn't. Someone made, oh, you know what? They might have just put in, this is a photocopy of a child. They might have just put that in there. Oh, what do we have? 10. Okay, so this says 10 carat for the locket. So we will have to test the locket and see. And the chain is saying that it is 1/20th. What was it? 12 karat gold filled. So we will have to put this in the test pile. Then we have this piece, which is missing 2 stones, which may be in the bag. I don't know. This also has something written on it. Upside down. This is also... Uh-oh. My power just went out. We will come back. Okay, we are back. I was out for about an hour, but then I got involved with laundry and things once the power came back on. So we were looking at this one. It says something and then 12 carats. It's probably 1/20th. Let me take a look through the loop. Okay, so what this says is Esemco, and then it says 12 carats. And on the necklace portion, it says, let me hook this. Okay. So on this one, they have a really pretty design. And then on this side, oops, it says Esemco. And then it says 10K on the fold. So we are going to have to test this because this does not look like, this looks like silver on the back, like this was gold plated. I don't know how old this is. I'm going to have to do a little research. This is actually on its little fascinator backwards. It needs to go the other direction. So we'll fix that and we'll do a little testing. I'm sure these are probably glass, and I'll have to find out what's going on with Esemco. So that's another one to test. Next up, we have this cameo, which is done on what feels like a resin. It looks like it had a hang tag, but the hang tag is missing. Now, is that writing or is that just the... I think that's just the design. It looks like the hang tag got ripped off because I can actually stick my nail through that one. And I do not see a maker's mark, so maybe a Google search will let me know who made this, like if it's Avon or Sarah Coventry. Kind of reminds me of an Avon or a Sarah Coventry piece. So we shall see what we can find. Then I have this. Someone tell me what this is for, because it's on a chain. It's on, oh, is this, wait a minute. I know what this is. This is a watch fob. This is a men's watch fob. So we will put this over with the men's. Let's go with this one. So these look like amethyst chips on a it is a stretch. I was just looking to see if it's nylon. I think it's partially nylon, and then it has little white and silver beads on it. It's really cute. We have a very large hair clip. My hair is not that thick, or else I'd keep it. There's no way, I don't think my hair would stay in that. But it has a nice, kind of feels, well, I guess it's plastic or acrylic. It doesn't feel like glass. It's not cold to the touch. But nice hair clip. Then we have this. Now I know she was a small lady, but there's no way. I wonder if this was an earring at one time, because that would make sense. But we're going to have to test this and see if it's silver. Let's see. Earrings test. This looks like copper. And it has a little bit of verdigris going on. And yes, it is copper. It has a little something after the copper to my camera, but it's a little, very little mark that looks like maybe there's a mountain on one side and a little bear face on the other side. So it does have a marking on it. It's really pretty. It's a decent size. I mean, I think I'm like a 6.5, 6 3/4, and it comfortably goes on. So that's yay. And then we have Liz. These can actually slide off, so you could actually take Liz off if you need. It's basically a watch band that is a fiber. So we'll see what happens with that. Then we have a faux stretch. Now the stretch is loose, but it's still good. So I think I might, if the beads turn out to be in good condition, which I think they are, I might go ahead and put it in the maybe. Well, I am going to put it in the maybe. Just see what happens. And then we have this stretch band, which does not have a maker's mark. It still has, I mean, a good stretch to it. And yeah, it has all of its beads. It's just really small. I know I say that a lot, but we're talking, this is small. So 5 1/4, 5 1/2, but it's really pretty. We have a very large green, almost a lime green cross. I don't see any markings on it. It is not magnetic, so, but it doesn't look or feel like, it feels like it's stainless steel. So we're going to put that in the yes. And then we have the M, so we're going to have to figure out who to give this to. We have this bracelet, which I could have swore we had one like this, but I could be wrong. Now this is a set, let's say 7.5. Just goes over my hand. Definitely has room left on my wrist. Fits comfortably. It's really pretty. Excellent condition. So far we have a tie clip with little, ooh, let's see. Okay, I'm going to turn these off. Okay, so they do not glow, so these are just glass. Very nice tie clip though. Don't see a maker's mark on it, but it's really lovely. We're waiting for a couple of cufflinks. We have a student council pin for Iowa. That looks like an IA, I think. And you always want to check these to see if they're made of gold, because sometimes they are. So this looks like a tie pin that someone would wear. Now, we have a cowboy hat. Oh, this is a earring, so we're going to put this in with earrings. Never mind. We have a faux turquoise ring that is adjustable. Good size. It's 1 inch by 3/4 of an inch complete. So yay. Then we have this. I love the way they did this rock. Now this is a natural rock. And it looks like a clamshell. So I really like the way that they cut this and took this rock. And this says that it is Mexico 925. We all know what Mexico is. I don't see a maker's mark on this. 450 pesos back in the day. This is a C clasp. Needs a little polish. Oh, it's a shame that they didn't mark it. But this is gorgeous. This is absolutely lovely. So we'll put that into the absolutely. Then we have a little, what I'm assuming is crushed turquoise, and with a glaze of some kind. This does not have any markings that are on it. And it is magnetic. And it is a five and a half. And then we have this one, which needs a little bit hold on. There we go. Okay. So this one just need a little unsquishing. So this is a 4 1/4. It's not even getting to the 4 1/2 mark. This is a 4 1/4. I do not see any markings. It looks like there is copper coming through. Oh wait, is that? Yeah, I don't think that's writing. I think that's just where the silver. So this is silver plated. We can test. This is a really nicely cut stone. So we'll give that a test. We'll just put it into the testing bucket for now. And we will do our next pull. So far, so good. Let's go ahead and start with this one. I do not see any maker's mark, but it does have the look of silver. And these are those little woven knots like I got on that Tiffany bracelet. Not saying that this is Tiffany. I'm not, because this would not be Tiffany because the rings are not soldered together. They're open. But we are going to test this cute little necklace to see. Well, actually, you know what? Let's. Oh, no, it is. Well, it's got a lot of. Yeah. Okay, so this is not silver, but it's cute. It has. So this is probably nickel. Maybe it's nickel. And then we have. Oh, wow. Oh, this is gorgeous. This just needs a little cleanup, which take just a moment of my time. It has one of these old hinge clasps, the old style hinge clasp. 90% sure this is magnetic. Yes, it is. Now, the hinge clasp is not magnetic, which is odd because usually those are magnetic because of the spring that's in them. But this is gorgeous. Holy smokes. Once it's cleaned up, and it has all of its stones, once it's cleaned up, this is gonna shine like the sun. That is awesome. Love it. Okay, so this is Avon, and I think we actually had this necklace not too long ago. It's the Calla Lily necklace, and it's in excellent, excellent condition. We have this one, which looks like it's a fast fashion piece. And it just drops down into a Y. It's in very good condition. Well, no, it is not in good condition. These are missing some of the silvering on it, so we're going to put that in craft. Then we have a necklace. Which I think that's just a scuff. Yes, that's just a scuff. So this kind of looks like an Avon necklace. So we're going to put it to the side and see if it belongs to anything. Then we have another Avon necklace without a pendant. So we will check on that. We have a oops, where is it? There you go. Fast fashion. Another necklace. Has a little bit of a kink in it, but I think it just snapped into place. So we're good to go on that. Excellent condition. We have this beautiful cross. That does not have any markings on it, which is surprising. Usually they have some kind of marking on it. But it's beautifully done. It is very, very slightly magnetic, and the cross is not magnetic at all. So I think we're going to test this. This could be 800, even though it doesn't have any marks. One never knows. This feels like it's made from stainless steel. Maybe. There are no markings on it. It's a small scallop, half scallop or scallop shape with little, these little round barrels, I guess, for lack of a better term. It's in good condition. So we'll put that over here. And we have, I'm going to call it a pretzel necklace. I guess it could be a knot, but I'm going to call it a pretzel. There is not a maker's mark on it, so I guess it goes this way. I guess it could go any way you want. So it's in very good condition. We have this absolutely adorable little Nutcracker pin, and it is Avon. An OS Avon piece. He has little articulating arms and legs, little green eyes. Looks like all of his little rhinestones are there. Isn't he cute? Little legs swing. But they're welded together, but they do swing. His little arms swing. So isn't he adorable? He is. He's about 2 1/4 inches tall. Good size. Now this metal, it's like I know what it is, but I don't know what it is. I can't remember. I always thought they had a, typically when I see these, there's something in the middle to tell you who it's for. But this one does not. This is a heavy piece. If I didn't know better, I'd say this was like lead. You know, gold over lead, because it's that heavy. So it's an uninscribed pendant. The Stars of Texas. There is not a maker's mark. This is a heavy chain, and this is a very blingy piece, and this is the Texas emblem but in pink. So very nicely done. Very, very sparkly and slightly cool to the touch, so I'm thinking it could be glass. Very well made. We have this piece. She had a thing for pink. So this is acrylic over, not quite sure. Let's see. Did we get a hint? We did not get a hint of a maker's mark on this. There's nothing on the tag, but it's a really pretty piece. That's gorgeous. You know what I'm liking is that pretty much all the stones are here, with the exception of that one piece that is ancient. It has that gold color to it. Oopsie. That is sticking. It has that brassy gold tone look to it. Diamond cut. We have a faux pearl bracelet. It's in good condition, so we might be able to lock that up. We have this piece, which has a little angel hang charm on it. None of it is magnetic. And we have this pearl bracelet interwoven with gold wrap. This also reminds me of an Avon piece, which it very well could be. This has a little bit of dirt on it. I think that will just come off. (1976), commemorating the 200-year anniversary. Jandy. It looks like it says Jandy. So that's a great find. We have these two bracelets. It looks like this was gold tone at one time. This is not magnetic at all. The inside, I wonder if this is nickel. It's got a rhodium plate on the outside. Might have to test that one. And then this, I'm not sure. Definitely has a coating on it. Like a, I don't know if this is ceramic, or this is some type of stone. If you know, let me know, comment. I'm lost on this one. The coating on it makes it kind of hard to understand what this could be made out of, but it's pretty. Let's see. This does not have any writing on it, yet it has a look of silver. This is pot metal. Oh, it is definitely magnetic, so it is not silver. It's a pretty older piece with a heart and a large pear shape CZ. It's really pretty. It's going to clean up really well. We have this brooch, which the clasp is broken on it. This is probably an Avon piece. It's because it's got that brassy kind of gold tone to it. So it would sit like this. And I didn't want to put these in, throw them in. So we have a fish earring that looks like it's made of mother of pearl. And so I'm going to put this to the side so it doesn't get broken. And then we have this little itty bitty owl. Also looks like it's made from mother of pearl. So we're going to put this to the side so it doesn't get broken. We have a roller skate that the wheels actually do spin. How fun. And so you can just put this on your charm bracelet. And we have this little cross, which this probably goes on one of those two chains. It is a magnetic. Well, I don't know. I don't have a chain that matches that yet. And then we have this pretty little green costume ring that is sizable. And that's just adorable. Has a great shine to it. If I can get it off. Right. Well, let's start with this big honking beautiful piece. So this looks like an artisan piece. It looks like it might be copper. And it has all these beautiful turquoise-esque pieces to it. That is gorgeous. And we're gonna give it the love it deserves by putting it on the mannequin. That is fabulous. I could so rock this. And I might just do that. I might just be wearing this for a little while. That is fabulous. Yep, I can see it on me now. Perfect. So going to another necklace. That made my eyes go wide. This little fast fashion piece. Might as well give it the love it deserves. Look at how gorgeous that is. I love it. It's got a clear acrylic over a colored whatever. This is a fabulous piece. Wow. Loving that. And I probably am going to insult somebody. 12. Because the first thing I thought of was I've been looking for a new feather toy for my cat. And look at all these feathers. I'm gonna have to keep this away from her. This feels like it's acrylic, but at the same time it's got some rough edges to it. So I guess it could be a piece of dyed agate along with glass and all these feathers, these colorful feathers. Yep, definitely gonna have to keep this away from my cat. So if somebody really likes this, I'm sorry if I insulted you. But It's just the first thing that came to my mind. So we're going to have to put that in a special box. So Kitty doesn't see it. And look at this girl. This has to be a vintage piece. There's not... I do not see... Oh, yes, we do. It's Avon. So this lady had an Avon collection. That's a gorgeous piece of Avon. Love it. And what I like even better is that it's expandable. So it can go from 13 inches up to 15 and a quarter. So this is a fabulous vintage piece. Love it. Another Avon, I'm 90% sure. This is one of those. There we go. Very tightly clasped. You have to use some muscle to get this back off your neck. It is not marked, but I'm 90% sure this is Avon. And it's the gold nugget look. There you go. The gold nugget look. Definitely 80s. Then we have this little leaf with a rhinestone. And this is definitely Avon. It says it right there. A pretty piece. Ooh. I think somebody heard me. She just got up off the couch. There we go. Look at this. Okay, we got to bring that back. We need to bring this back. Look at that pretty. Oops. Bring it back up. That's gorgeous. Oh my gosh. This lady and I have great taste, right? So this does not have a maker's mark. It is most likely an Avon piece. Oh no, Avon doesn't do their stuff this well. So this has got to be a piece, if it is Avon, it's got to be a piece from the 50s or 60s. Love it, love it, love it. And it looks like all the stones are there. Yowza, loving this. I don't know if I can really call it a jewelry jar, but bag, jewelry bag. Okay, so we have a tree. This is probably Avon. It has an Avon kind of feel to it. Rolo clasp with, I'm assuming, hematite and little beads. A little tiny necklace. This has a lot of wear to it, and we're going to end up crafting that one. There we go. So this is a lariat piece, or bolo, that you can take as short as you want, put it over your head and bring it back. Now this has a lot of wear to it, but maybe with some buffing it will bring itself back. I don't know. It may just need to be cleaned. It's hard to tell, but I'm gonna guess and say that this is a vintage Avon piece. It's really pretty. This came off of something. Oh no, it is a pin that has a lot of verdigris on it. It looks like it's hand painted. Some of the gilding has worn off. Let's the verdigris is, well, this one has a little bit left, and this is damage from the verdigris, but the actual, with the exception of this one's completely gone. This one I need to do another pass, maybe let it sit longer, but cleans up really well. This is actually tarnished, so this might be able to be rubbed up. This side is hand painted, and so some of the brass is showing through, so this would have to be very carefully done, and then it would need to be re-gilded for the top of the brooch. But this is an excellent piece of history. It's just a stamped piece. They literally made a stamp, stuck it in there, and voila, and then hand painted it. So I'm going to keep working on this, get the rest of this verdigris that's right here off. I think it just needs to soak a little longer. Oh, missed a spot. There's some verdigris right there. But, you know, vodka and water, distilled water. So I'm going to put this to the side so I don't forget about it. But it's a great way to get verdigris off, and there's no muss, no fuss. Doesn't take very long. Then we have this kaleidoscope of color. Oh, this is an old one that was made in China at some point. But it's definitely, 1950s. The rivets. So this just needs a little cleaning, and we have a perfect piece of 1950. Oh, love it. Okay. So this is total 80s, because I had one of these when I was in the 80s. If you haven't watched Jennifer's show or YouTube channel, she just did a shopping trip that brought her back from the 80s. So these little shells would go perfect with some of her outfits that she has for sale. So we'll put this in here. We have, I'm assuming, another Avon piece. Oh wow, okay, that's tight. Little charm bracelet. There we go. Very, very small. Wurstfest 1985, worth $1. New Braunfels, Texas. A relay medal. I'm assuming this is gold over pewter. This brooch, faux pearls. This one's losing some of its shine. Assuming this is an Avon's piece, and this is probably from the 60s. And if it is, it's in great condition. And then we have this pretty little ring, which is adjustable. I'm assuming acrylic, and it's a black flower. Well, I'm not seeing it in the bag, so we'll have to see if this comes along or not. I'll have to put this aside. And we have another Avon piece, which is a little red crystal on a heart necklace. We have some cherries, some very blingy cherries. I have a friend who likes cherries, so I'll probably give that to her if that is not a dent in the glass. I think that's a chip. I'll have to see. She has a thing for cherries. And we have a little heart that looks to be and feels like it's hand painted on porcelain. I guess it could be ceramic, but it would make more sense if it was porcelain. So a cute little heart pendant. We'll have to see if one of those necklaces matches it. Then we have a big piece of bling. I would say this is maybe glass. Must be another Avon piece. This class was a little bit off. I'm assuming it's Avon. Purse charm. Acrylic. Little abalone dyed shells. Little fast fashion piece. This looks like it's broken, so we'll put that into that pile. We have a pink crystal with rhinestone. Looks like all the rhinestones are there. Long necklace. Very pretty, very blingy. This reminds me of a Chico's piece. So we have a heart with some bling, a little quatrefoil, a little cross. We have some sounds like a ceramic, like a dyed ceramic piece, and some other very large what are these? Not quite amber, not quite yellow beads. So pretty piece. Definitely reminds me of Chico's. Another what I'm assuming is an Avon piece. Doesn't have the Avon tag, but this would probably go with that one bracelet that we just had. So pretty piece. very good condition. Liz. So apparently Liz is her name, or was her name. So we have another Liz. A very pretty scarf pin. It's very lightweight aluminum. We have a very blingy zebra bow brooch. A little bit wonky from putting it on the coat, but at first glance it looks like all the bling is there. Then we have a blue cat's eye style. Once again, assuming this might be Avon without a tag. Pretty blue glass plate piece. Okay, so the clasp is broken on this. Number one. Usually it says like number one mom or something, but there she's just number one. She's number one in everything. But we're going to put this into the craft because the spring is broke on the clasp. My old Kentucky home, Bardstown, Kentucky. This looks like it is for a bourbon bottle. So I know who to give that to. Let's see if this one works. Yes. Okay, this spring works. Chain, Avon. That's unique. We actually have a snap clasp on this. We're just gonna craft this one. Okay, so we have enamel, Premier Design. So we just need a necklace for that. The RSROA Singles Test Award for roller skating. Kansas, Topeka. Michigan, maybe? Swiss 1980 Taiwan. Okay, another roller skate. We have a broken flag. Vocational FFA agricultural pin. Ooh, this is an old one. It actually screws on and off. Well, that's interesting. Doesn't have a date on it, but I've never seen one that actually screws on. Awesome. Then we have a faux little ring, adjustable. Oh wait. Oh, that's just the silver plate coming off. Cute little enamel is what it looks like. Looks like enamel. This one is missing its little stone. This little flower, adjustable, assuming it is Avon, needs to be resized or make it round. Then we have this one, which I'm gonna assume this is a faux because the silver is coming off it. But what I like is the style of it. It's like the old 1900s, 1890s wedding ring style. And this is tiny. ish. So this is a 6, but very pretty, and this is worth resilvering, which I will do to bring this up to snuff. That is just so pretty. Okay, so we're gonna fix this one. Okay. Okay, so where's our magnet? So this is a slightly magnetic. Another chain. Then we have this one, which the chain has seen better days, so we're going to craft it. This is a very lightweight, and it's got tone loss, so we're going to craft it. This has some significant wear, and so we're going to craft it. This does not have initials on it, but somebody scratched something into it. And it is a pendant, or excuse me, a locket pendant on a chain. Now, the clasp doesn't seem to be clasping, so I'm going to craft it. So this matches a little bit like that pendant, assuming it is an Avon piece. It's very pretty though. It has those little sparkly stones in it. This chain has a lot of wear to it, so we are going to craft it. Now this piece seems to be in good condition. This is an Ankline, very pretty, and so we're going to keep that one. Thunderbolt. Oh, that I broke. Okay, it was bent anyway, so that was pewter, so we're going to craft that, obviously. This has seen a lot better days, so we're going to craft it. Now this one is really pretty. We might have to test and see if this is Nefrite or if this is glass. It's kind of hard to tell. It does look like an Avon piece, but that doesn't mean that they didn't use Nefrite. So we're going to test that one. We have a box chain that looks to be in good condition. Magnetic enough, but it's in good condition, so yay. We have a cameo, a faux cameo that came off of something. We have this piece, which is really pretty. So apparently she liked orange and she liked pink and yellow based on this bag. So this looks to be in good condition, so we're going to say yes. Oops. This large piece of acrylic is on the heavy side. It looks like they did almost like a crackle on the inside, and so we're gonna say yes on that. Then we have this gorgeous piece. Which can be hooked wherever on the line. Needs a little cleaning. It does have all of its stones. It just needs to be cleaned. The back, I would say that this is an older piece, like 70s, maybe. Really pretty. Just needs a little cleaning, so yay. I love all these vintage pieces. Even if some of them are Avon, they're still vintage and I like them. They have character. So we have this acrylic blue, assuming this is an Avon piece from the 50s. There is no maker's mark. The rivet tells me that it must be from the 50s. Very good condition for the age, so yes. Do that one last. So this big curb chain is Monet. Wow. This must have been maybe her husband's, because this is really long. And this is a substantially heavy piece. So that's a yes. And I was going to say this one looks like Monet when I was untangling. There is not a mark though, and Monet is very good about putting their mark on everything. Even, oh no, this is Avon. This is an Avon piece. In great condition. I would probably put this to the 70s or 80s. We have this yellow fast fashion that I'm just going to craft that one. It's cheap feeling. Liz, what happened? Okay, so looks like Misty had this itty bitty tiny, oh, it's a baby chain, 9/15/70. I'm gonna hook it together. That is so sweet. So there was a child born in 1970 named Misty. That's adorable. We have this piece. Once again, assuming it's probably Avon. It's on a ball chain. I think we might have the earrings to this. And we have this wire shell. I don't want to deal with wires. Somebody will get this in craft. And they can do what they want with it. And we have two stretch bracelets in good condition. So we're going to put that in the yes. And we've got a bunch of littles. Now this one, I know I've seen these before, but usually they're in such bad condition that I don't care. We have a little bit of wear on each side of this comb, but it's pretty. And then we've got a bunch of littles. Cloisonne, thank you. Cloisonne hair comb. And we have these. And a key ring that says Virginia. Genuine pewter. We already know about that one. We have a safety award, 15 years. That looks like Southern Belle telephone, is what that looks like to me. Starlighter, St. Mary's skating ring, or roller skate. We have another tie clip. Oh, this is 84. Oh, it's 84. Okay, so we'll have to look and see what the other one said. That's probably 84 as well. Another Kansas to Topeka. Maybe I'm going over these twice. Here's another keychain kind of looking thing. We have another dollar Wurstfest in New Braunfels. We have an RS ROA Dance Roller Skating West Award, or Test Award, and it says 1 on it. And then we have another one for singles Roller Skating Test Award number 1. Wild Horse Saloon, Nashville. Feet print in the sand. Oh, like that. I'm going to give this to my sister. We have a pin brooch that looks like it's made from an eyeglass lens, from somebody's eyeglasses. That's unique. A broken pin. We have a little itty bitty cross. The number 10. A cross. Pretty cross. I can't tell if it says something. All right, it looks like it has a K inside a circle, but there is definitely brass underneath this. So it is silver plate, we'll say. We have another little tiny pendant. It's like a little itty bitty tiny ladybug charm. A little heart charm, earring, a little sand dollar, I guess we could test it. A little apple. I wonder if she was a teacher. Cascade Caverns, Texas. Made in Taiwan. Six Flags Over Texas, Dallas. This is all right. Silcrest, maybe 1/12, 20th gold fill. Have a little anchor. We have a little heart with or without. I think it used to have a little chip in it, but I think that has gone by the wayside, is what it looks like. And we have an M that looks like it's stainless steel. Two little hearts. Back of a pin. Oh, we have a little earring. We have a little pendant that is a very sparkly pink. We have what feels like a copper heart, but I could be wrong. a little oval pendant. I wonder if this is supposed to have a stone in the middle. Usually it has like a stone in the middle. Or maybe something fell out of it, like, you know, like that. So we have another cameo, probably Avon. We have a little heart that is a cage. Usually these had a little pearl in them. And then these 4 little rings. This one possibly says something. You have to get it just right. Can't tell, but I will take a look at that under the scope. We have another one of those potentially turquoise chips. This is probably a size 5 as well. We have a love ring. That is so 80s. So a little dented. Then we have a little itty bitty heart. That we'll see if that comes up anything besides glass. Alright, so it does say Avon right there. And then the gilding is coming off and the copper is showing through. So this is a little Avon ring. Okay, so I am back. It is the next day. And this is where we left off yesterday. So we're just gonna scoot all this over. And I'm gonna go through the earrings. Now, a lot of these earrings are multiples. Like interchangeable multiples, I guess I should say. The question is, do we have... Okay, there's one. And there's the other. Okay, we do have those. Am I missing? Okay, found it. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 interchangeable hoop earrings. These are probably Avon, but just because there's so much Avon in here. Then we have these 2 clip earrings. Needs a little cleaning. I think she got lipstick on it. Oh, these are Premier. So these are not Avon. These are Premier. So they have a little bit of weight to them. They just have a enamel. They just have an enamel coating to the top of them. We do have 2 older style, at least. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, these are older. The only time that I know of that they used these little rivets in the middle were in the 50s to very early 60s. So these are definitely old earrings that amazingly still have all of their stones. And then we have these. Ooh! Well, wasn't expecting that. Here. There we go. I wasn't expecting that liquid effect. And they say something on them. Okay, I can't get these. Well, this one right here It's a little easier to read. The stamp is horrible. I think it's supposed to say sterling because it definitely says STE. So we'll go ahead and test these for sterling, but oh, they're so pretty. That water effect is awesome. So we'll pop those over there. We have a non-silver claddagh. These little cowboy hat earrings, I'm pretty sure these are, nope, okay, they're not magnetic. I don't see any writing on them, so I guess it wouldn't hurt to test them out and see. I don't think they are silver, but who knows? I think, you know what? I think that's copper coming through, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm thinking these are gilded. And then we have these two earrings. Then we have these cool earrings. I may end up keeping these for a little while because they're cool. Those are so fun. Then we have these two earrings, which do not have any writing on them that I can see. And I believe this is wood. Then we have two little balls. Yeah. There's no writing on it. Very sad. And then, oh, wait a minute. Well, those are fancy earrings. These have the screw back studs on them, or backs on them. Usually that means it's a higher end earring. It is 14 karat gold plate. Oops. Patent. Has a patent number. And then we have two stragglers, a seahorse, and a little thing of hollies. Hollyberry, which the mates to these could be in one of the other bags. So we're going to hold on to these and see. And the same with this one. We will have to wait and see if we get the match to this Premier Design earring. So it looks like it's in good condition. So I have a couple of Premier Design. So maybe that's what these are from. So we will go ahead and move these over to the side. These are the things we want to scratch. Just to see if there's something going on. I forgot to do this one. I'm pretty sure this is sure to keep my hand out of that. This is a copper with a gold, or excuse me, a silver overlay. So the 10 karat locket is hanging in there. This is correct. The silver for where the stone is did turn blue, and then ultimately it gets eaten away. The cross came up silver. I think I need to do a better scratch on the hooks, but the top part of these, the setting, there we go, is definitely copper. I mean, copper is definitely silver. Okay, had to calibrate it. So let's see if this is glass. Or nothing. Wow, okay, it's nothing. It doesn't feel like plastic, but hey, you know. So let's try this one. Yeah, so jadeite, nephrite, since it went that high up. Okay, I had to sneeze. So I think I very easily, if I ever get this stuff sold, if you see something that you like, let me know. But we did get some rather unique findings. You know, we had a couple little precious things. We had all those wonderful older necklaces, and then we've got these great cufflinks, and let's see, I've got a bunch of like button kind of ones. This one has a P on it on the back, so you could actually even put these, like these here, you could actually put them through your shirt if you want to. So, oh, and we did get the other piece for that necklace. I think we did really well. And, you know, we have this piece. We have the rhodium plate. I think this is a really great box. Or bag. I guess it would be a bag. And, of course, this piece, which I actually wore last night while I was doing the filming. Once I showed it, I had to wear it, and it's fantastic on. So love that piece. So I'm considering this a very good bag, especially for the money. Comparatively speaking, was basically $10 less than a blue box. It was still about 5 pounds because this thing is heavy. Going to the estate sale and picking up some jewelry was a great idea. Thanks for staying with me during this long process, and I will see you on the next video.